All right, that was my daughter. I needed to answer the phone. So where was I? I was talking about carbon in the environment and all of the petrochemicals and how we are sicker than ever, and that our modern mainstream narrative wants us to believe that back in the Middle Ages, people were just dropping dead in the streets and they were dying because they didn't have modern medicine and their lifestyles and all of that. And it's a big fat lie, okay? So you have to realize that since the Industrial Revolution reset, it literally reset the planet, okay? Our history prior to that was completely wiped out and rewritten. This has been documented and proven, okay? It's proven. They know that the history has been rewritten because researchers and archaeologists and geologists have discovered records that totally go against the common narrative. And all I need to do is mention Sumerian culture and couple of other cultures that completely defy the mindless history that we have been taught, okay? It's all false, all right? And then the Industrial Revolution came around, started massively poisoning the planet, which is part of the agenda, by the way. This agenda is thousands of years old because it's off-planet forces that have penetrated the human and have basically taken over this realm. It's very biblical. I hate the Bible. You guys know that. The Bible has basically been a collection of ancient stories and then rolled up into a form of manipulative weaponry. All right. So some of it is accurate and some of it is just bullshit. And it's a way that they can feed it to people. And because it has some truth in it, people are kind of able to hook into it. But then the bullshit is so strong and so powerful that it takes people over so that they buy into the slave narrative mindset. Okay. You guys know how I feel about this. I've talked about this in many of my videos. So this is the situation that we have now. A bunch of people that are completely mind controlled. They have outsourced their power. They don't trust their inner guiding light, which is the source that lives within us. It's in us already. It's part of everything, and it's in us as well as outside of us. And because there is no inner outer, it's all just one big unified field that we are part of, okay? And when we are deeply connected to it, this is what intuition and instincts are. And we've had that beat out of us, okay? It's been poisoned out of us by all the poisons. It's just been beat out of us by the mind control. It's been beat out of us by systemic trauma, by, malnutrition, because we're not eating a nutritious human appropriate diet. All right. So there's so many layers. Just the fact that our society is sick. So we are born into a disease. We are born into a diseased culture. And because humans are tribal, we are connected to a unified field. It's contagious, right? So we catch everything. We catch what's around us. And if you happen to be a rebel, like I was, and you can kind of stand firm against most of it, not all of it, it would be impossible, but to stand firm against a lot of it, then you have a lot of your inner program still intact. You have a lot of your instincts and your intuition still intact. But for many people, those instincts and intuition have been so suppressed that they're operating completely from the mind control, the mind parasite, so to speak. It's like, it's a parasite. I don't even like the word parasite because parasites aren't bad in nature. Okay. Then I'm talking about the synthetic parasite. Okay. It's synthetic and it gets inside of us and it doesn't operate with symbiosis anymore, because a parasite from nature operates from symbiosis. They're not bad. They're not overtaking us. They're not making us sick. They're symbiotic. And if they're overtaking you, it's because you're weak as fuck. Okay. So keep that in mind. And you can't just take a bunch of shit to kill it and think that that's going to change anything. All right. That's the same mentality as trying to kill bacteria with antibiotics. You are just going to make them stronger and more powerful because you cannot fuck with Mother Nature. Okay. So when are we going to learn this? Like, when are we going to learn this? How do we learn to get into alignment? Okay. And learn to flex and learn to harmonize. And again, everything is about reaching equilibrium and homeostasis. And when things start to flux too far out of homeostasis, nature is going to do what nature needs to do to bring it back in. Now, how far can we go out of homeostasis? We can go pretty damn far, because look at where we are. We can go pretty far. But at some point, nature is going to start reeling it back in. And I believe that this is what is happening in the world right now. I believe that we are reaching the point of absolute no return. Well, we've already been at the point of no return, but I'm just saying we are reaching kind of the end point where nature is finally going to snap into action and start to put the smack down on the system. And I believe this is why the system is so desperate. They are so desperate to push their digital prison, their CRISPR technology, their AI prison, their brain chips, their artificial synthetic injections and manipulations to our body, the cyborg transhuman revolution. Okay, they are so desperate because humans are coming back alive. We are literally getting turned back on. Okay, because nature is basically on a rescue mission, right? There's a rescue mission going on right now, and the sun and the earth are in on it, and everything is sending out new signals and communicating with every life form on this planet. And we are actually being rebooted. We're being programmed back to nature instead of this synthetic force that has been manipulating the planet for thousands of years. And I know that's a mind fuck for some of you, but if you go back and study some of the ancient stuff before it was bastardized by religion and shit, they talk about this. Like, this is like well-known ancient stories, and you see it all over the globe, that there was an overtaking of the planet by outside forces, and it completely shifted the entire realm and reality on this planet. So this is nothing new. And I'm not making this up. I happened to know it as a kid before I learned about this stuff. But once I learned about it and realized, wow, this is out there. Like, this didn't come from my head. This is something that I tapped into. I just happened to be very open to it. So I pulled it in intuitively. And then I was able to make it make sense when I started realizing that ancient cultures have been talking about this for thousands of years, okay? That we had entered into a phase where we were overtaken by outside forces, and it was the government, religion, the military, which are all the same, by the way. They're not separate. I know some people think religion is separate, but it's not, okay? Because the military has always enforced the church rules, and government has always been there to make sure that the military has overtaken the people, okay? So this is where, they're not even in bed together. They are the same force. They are the same exact force. And this is how they colonized the planet, okay? And the whole goal was to get us moving down this certain trail. Now, I know religious people talk about the mark of the beast and blah, 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 and they think they're so awake and, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that you're not awake. You're not awake at all, because you're not acting out of your own sovereignty. And what your sovereignty is, it doesn't mean that you're acting without source. You're acting in alignment with source. You're acting in alignment with nature. You're acting in alignment with nature's signals. And when you are in alignment with nature's signals, you begin to realize that that's all bullshit. So you can believe in a lot of things that are true, okay? But it doesn't mean that you are fully awakened. It doesn't mean you are aligned. And I like the word aligned better than awakened, because awakening can be related to the mind. Like, oh, my mind, I know all of this stuff. That doesn't mean shit. If your instincts and your intuition are not lit way the fuck up, you're not awakened. Okay? Awakening is from within. You have to be deeply connected to your instincts and your intuition, and that has to guide you, not your mind. It's fun to talk about this stuff, but it's not what awakening is. Just by knowing this information doesn't really mean anything. You have to embody it. You have to live it. You have to feel it. And you have to actually be anchored so deeply to the signals that nature is communicating. that you are aligned with that frequency instead of the deceptive frequencies, which are religion, government, systems. And the educational system is a government agency. It's a government system. Medicine, government system. We know that now after COVID. It's a fucking government system. All military. Military, CIA, because the CIA is the top of the mob pyramid. And then above the mob pyramid are, the people that prance around on the stage that people call the elite, right? Oh, the elite, like they're in control. No, the real controllers are invisible. They're invisible forces that are off planet. I know that's a mind fuck for some people. But why wouldn't you believe that? Like, why wouldn't you understand that? Do you think that outside of this planet, there's just fucking nothing? Because that's kind of crazy, right? Forces. And why wouldn't you think of it? I mean, where do you think the forces that spoke to people back in the day that ended up writing religious books? They heard fucking voices. Okay, it's crazy. It's insanity. It's mental illness. But those are the forces. Those are the interdimensional forces that can penetrate people's minds. That's what mental illness is. These forces are everywhere, okay? And again, just because you hear a voice in your head that says it's God, what? Says who? You look around and you go, you've done a shitty fucking job. I don't think so. Right? Because nature is different. Nature, I suppose you could look around and say, well, nature's not so great either because look, but no, nature didn't create this. Nature creates the platform. Nature creates the structure. Nature creates the holding basket, right? And then we are the ones that have filled it up. And humans that have been possessed by these interdimensional forces have filled it up with really fucking terrible things. Terrible things. We live in a terrible matrix system that is evil and horrible. And it's not to be so naive to think that there's no joy here, that there's no beauty here, that there's no good here. There is. Because nature still exists, right? Nature still exists. Good people still exist. But the system is malicious with malicious intent to harm. And it harms every day. And then they flip it around and try to make it sound like it's our fault. Okay? So these forces are not human. And I'm not saying that they don't have some human element in them, but they've been completely overtaken by these synthetic forces. So they've taken us away from living in alignment with nature to having to conform to this synthetic matrix. And they always have to do it by force. And whenever you have to force somebody into a system, that should tell you right there and then. So I don't think people know this, but originally humans did not want to send their kids to school. They had to be forced by the military and by marshals and FBI agents, okay? They had to be forced. People didn't want to pay taxes. They have to force you with prison. They have to force you. And, people will say, well, paying taxes is the price you have to pay to live in society. Really? Because animals don't pay fucking taxes. Fuck you. Animals don't pay taxes. And they're thriving just fine, aren't they? Well, most of them. Some, the coyote population is thriving. Let's just put it that way. The coyote population is thriving. They are one of nature's most adaptable species. They're actually really incredible. But they're thriving. And why are they thriving? Oh, they don't have money, do they? No. They don't have money. They don't have a government telling them what they can and cannot do. They operate out of instincts and intuition. They operate according to nature's signals. Humans aren't thriving. Humans aren't thriving, are they? So, all right, I don't remember how much my other video was, and I don't know if I want to keep going right now or if I just want to stop this for the moment, let you guys digest it, and then I can continue this stream of thought and maybe weave it into a much brighter, more positive outlook, because I believe that there is something incredibly positive transpiring. It's just not quite at the surface yet. And the way that bacteria can actually rapidly mutate and evolve horizontally instead of having to reproduce, I believe this is what is happening to humanity right now, that we don't actually have to reproduce. We are actually sparking each other horizontally because of our electromagnetic field. Each human has an electromagnetic field that is part of the greater electromagnetic field and the plasma field. We are all interconnected. We are all communicating with one another. And remember when I talked about the bacteria? And again, I don't know if this was the first video I made or the second video I made, but if I didn't mention it, I'm going to mention it again. And if I did mention it and you heard it, I'm just going to repeat it. It only takes one bacteria, one, to spark up, okay? And it rapidly permeates to all the other bacteria. It's fucking profound shit. And I believe we have reached the point where the threat to our existence is so great. And honestly, the health stuff is really bad, but the greatest threat to our humanity right now is transhumanism, all right? The cyborg revolution, the machine, CRISPR technology, brain chips, synthetic shit. You get the drift, right? Merging with the machine. That is the greatest threat to humanity right now. And I believe this is the wake-up call. And I believe that because there's people already on this planet sparked, their spark is going, okay? And they're going to help to light up the world, and everybody is going to start receiving these signals. Maybe not everybody, but enough to make a difference. So here we are. Here we are. We live in interesting times. And there's so much nuance and so many layers, and I can't possibly cover it all. And the truth is, I don't know it all either. I don't know everything, but I know what I know. I know what I know. And nothing has been able to prove me wrong yet. And it's funny, I'll play with AI every now and then, and I'll poke it and poke it and poke it. And of course, it always tries to give you the mainstream narrative first, but you keep poking it, and then it gives you the most brilliant, logical explanations for things. And it's like, right? Yeah, because it's logical. Nature and the sun are the supreme forces on this planet, and it looks like they're starting to take control. So it's going to be interesting. Stay strong. Signing out.